How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden 22. And today we've got one of the matchups I've been looking forward to all season between the 7-4 Detroit Lions and the 7-5 New Orleans Saints. Now, if the season ended today, this would be our first round playoff matchup. The number 3 taking on the number 6 seed. But what really makes this matchup special for me is the two starting quarterbacks. Bob Hairston and Nathan Davis are both in their second season, and both of them went to Florida. Davis was a consensus top 10 pick in the NFL draft, but that was before he suffered an injury in his senior year that allowed Bob Hairston to step into the spotlight as the quarterback of a very good Florida team. We ended up taking Hairston number 17 overall in that draft, while Nathan Davis went just a couple of picks later to the New Orleans Saints at number 21. But their competition didn't end there, as they found themselves dueling for NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year last year, an award which Nathan Davis won. The debate has raged on, however, especially in light of Hairston's Super Bowl win, as to who actually is the better quarterback. And that is an argument that might be put to rest here today, as the two former college teammates face each other for the first time. There's an extra wrinkle being thrown into today's game, as both TJ Hawkinson and Dexter Allen have been ruled out of today's matchup with injuries suffered in practice, leaving 6th round rookie Kyrie Hughes as the only active tight end on our roster. With that in mind, we signed an emergency stopgap in Jack Doyle in order to help us out in some two tight end sets and maybe provide another weapon, at least for this game. And in order to do that, we do release John Panisini, but I have full plans to bring him back after this game. But that's enough intro, let's head down to the field. It's Nathan Davis out there first as Jack Fox gets us underway here, week 13 against the New Orleans Saints. We'll start with a touchback in the end zone, as so many of our games this series have begun. Nathan Davis takes the field, 3,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He is having a great sophomore season here for the Saints, and he will start in the shotgun, standing on his own 20-yard line, back to pass, drifting left in the pocket, and his first pass is knocked away by Sean Francois, 2nd and 10. And they'll let Davis throw it again. That time he hooks up with Michael Callaway for a first down gain of 11. Davis has managed to be a very productive quarterback, and that's taken some of the pressure off of Alvin Kamara to lead this offense, but he's stopped by Dalton Logan at the line of scrimmage, putting the Saints in a 3rd and long. They'll set up the screen for Kamara. He is hit and stopped shy of the marker. James Bradbury finishing what D'Angelo Carmichael began, as the Saints will punt on their opening possession. We talked a bit about Bob Hairston's second season struggles. He's throwing for more yards and more touchdowns, but he's also thrown more interceptions and has had a lower completion percentage. And that's part of why there's still debate over who the better quarterback is that Davis has taken a big step forward in his second season, and Bob Hairston is still figuring things out from the looks of it. If you compare their stats from this year, Davis has more yards, more touchdowns, and fewer interceptions, as well as a higher completion percentage than Bob Hairston. And it's worth noting that neither quarterback is playing with an elite defense. The Lions have the league's worst rushing defense, while the Saints have the league's worst passing defense. As DeAndre Swift is close to the marker, but did not find the cutback hole there. The Lions have to punt, and what's worse is that Taylor Decker is shaken up with an injury. So we'll get an update on that here shortly as Davis starts the second possession from his own 22. And there's a slant route to Michael Thomas for a gain of 8. He'll be covered by Bradbury here today, as Decker's injury is fortunately not going to keep him out more than a series or two. As the 3rd and inches handoff to Kamara picks up the first down. 1st and 10 Saints on their own 35. It's play action for Davis. He's got time and he wants a deep shot into triple coverage, and it's intercepted by Tracy Walker. The Lions worked all week on practice on taking away big plays down the field. They know that Davis loves to challenge defenses deep with that arm of his, as the Lions get the game's first takeaway here. Nice arm punt from Davis, though. 1st and 10 from their own 8. It is DeAndre Swift making that look easy. 1st down carry to the 19. 2 deep safeties for the Saints on 2nd and 10. Detroit will run the ball again. Just 2 yards for Deshaun Stevenson, and it's 3rd and 8. Plenty of runs to start the day for the Lions, but they'll have to throw it here as Keegan Darby breaks open across the 40 to the 41. Excellent pocket there by the Detroit offensive line to give Hairston enough time to pick up the 1st down. And now the Lions go play action. There's Deshaun Peoples open inside New Orleans Saints territory to the 36. Hairston starting 4 of 5 as he finds a rookie wide receiver for a gain of 24. Now they'll head back to the ground game, and DeAndre Swift has a hole up the middle. 1st down, now 2nd and 10 from the 23. Just one tight end in the game. It is Kyrie Hughes. He will motion left. So now bunch formation on the left side as DeAndre Swift redirects. Gain of just 3. And it's 3rd and 7. Single high safety look for the Saints. Stevenson in motion to the right. Hairston against a 4-man rush. Pressure incoming, and he gets this one away, throwing it where no one can catch it to set up a field goal, which the Lions convert. So 3-0 Detroit. 3rd offensive series for Nate Davis, and that is knocked away by D'Angelo Carmichael. 2nd and 10. And where the Lions have opened the game by emphasizing their ground game, the Saints are trusting Nate Davis's arm here, and he rewards them with a strike to Adam Troutman. Nice gain there. Now 2nd and 6 from the 45. And Davis will head to the air once again. 4-man rush. He's got tons of time, and there's a nice catch by Michael Thomas. And that speaks to the trust Davis has in Thomas. That was a well-thrown ball, putting where only his wide receiver had a chance to make a play. As Davis will take another shot into double coverage, and that is nearly intercepted again. 3rd and 1. We're still in the 1st quarter here. Kamara getting the call. He shakes one tackle. He is close to the marker, and he is marked short as Deshaun Hand is injured. Already a few injuries on this Superdome turf, as the offense will stay on the field here. 4th and inches, goal line formation for the Lions. Kamara getting the call, and he has got more than enough to pick up the 1st, as that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. And the Lions quickly get news that Hand is done for the day. So an already weak Detroit run defense gets even worse with his absence, as the Saints are obliging by continuing to throw the ball as opposed to attacking the Lions with Alvin Kamara on the ground. That will make it 3rd and 5. Davis to the left side, and that is knocked away. Sean Francois with another defended pass as Ryan Ramczyk is shaken up on the play. 3-3 is your score as the Detroit defense gets a stop. So on 1st and 10, here goes Stevenson, juking a man. He crosses the 35 to the 38. And the Lions will get something moving on the ground here. Now 2nd and 4 from their own 44. Blitz is picked up. Hairston unloads, and there is Darby on the left sideline into New Orleans Saints territory. A gain of 23. Hairston's been looking his way quite a bit, especially with our ground game being very hit or miss against this New Orleans Saints defense. I feel like we've had a good run or nothing on our carries, and there's no in between. As Hairston with time fires downfield, there's Christian Kirk across the marker to the 22, 1st and 10. Now 2nd and 10 from the 21, as Hairston heads to the air, firing to the right. There's Deshaun Peoples inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's knocked out of bounds. Goal to go at the 4, and Jamal Williams enters the game. He will take this one up the middle and fights his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Jamal Williams, Mr. Short Yardage himself, puts the Lions up 10-3 with 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. As now it's up to Nathan Davis and this New Orleans offense to try and answer. Davis opens the series in the shotgun and he'll hand off to Kamara. Kamara breaks a tackle and he's finally hauled down after a nice gain there. 1st and 10 from the 40. The Saints have thrown the ball early and often, but they really haven't established their rushing attack very well. As the Saints are trusting the arm of Nathan Davis here. Already 14 attempts for him. Facing a 2nd and 4 from their own 41. Davis will head to the air once again, and he throws out of the sack. Tyrell Williams just a step too slow there. That will make it 3rd and 4 from the 41. Davis in the shotgun bunch formation right. They'll try and set up the screen, but Devin Woodson blows up that play with a sack for a loss of 8. Saints will punt and the Lions will get the ball back on their own 32 with 4 minutes and change to go here. First down run from Swift doesn't get much and it's 2nd and 8. And with the way New Orleans' run defense is looking here early on, it might be up to Bob Hairston to make a couple of big throws if the Lions want to come out on top in this game. He's 8 of 12 through the air to start the day here, facing a 1st and 10 from his own 49. DeAndre Swift up the middle and into Saints territory to the 44, setting up a 3rd and 3. And the Saints will show pressure. They'll bring just 4. Hairston with a strike, and there's Quan Sandridge at the 36, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning here in New Orleans. 1st and 10 Detroit. Hairston under center. 2 deep safeties for the Saints. Play action for Hairston. He's got time. Waits and fires downfield, and Keegan Darby has it out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Goal to go Detroit as they try and go up 2 scores here on the Saints. As another Hairston-Darby connection, as this time the counter will leave DeAndre Swift untouched all the way into the end zone. And a nice play call there by the Lions. They are a power running team, and they know it, everyone else knows it, so hitting them with the counter instead of just a straight power run made for a very easy lane for DeAndre Swift, as now Nathan Davis takes over with a chance to run a 2-minute drill. He's got all 3 timeouts and the ball at the 33-yard line. 2nd and 2. Davis fires short for Camaro, his 2nd straight catch. He breaks a tackle to his own 42-yard line, and the drive will continue. Saints hurry back to the line. Minute 15 to go. It's another target for Camara, and this time he is hauled out of bounds by George Towns to stop the clock. 2nd and 6 from their own 46. Single high safety look for the Lions. Another screen for the Saints. This time it's Devontae Booker getting the completion as he crosses midfield to the 42. And the Saints will take their first time out with 55 seconds to go in the first half. Empty set here for Davis. He will head to the air against a 3-man rush. Time for Davis, and he finds a hole in the zone coverage. It's Kamara again. And the Saints will take their second timeout with 49 seconds to go. Just 1 remaining ball in the 26. Blitz is brought and it's picked up. And there's a nice catch over the coverage there. Adam Troutman, his 3rd reception on the day, makes it 1st and 10 from the 10. Clock continues to run down to 25 seconds. Davis to the left side, and it's hauled in by Marquez Callaway. And there's the arm strength of Nathan Davis, just getting this one out ahead of James Bradbury's outstretched hands. It's a 17-10 game after 2 quarters here in New Orleans as we head into halftime. That was a nice 2-minute drill by Nathan Davis. He took what the defense was giving him and didn't force the ball downfield. Chicago lost their game this week 35-14. They are now 4-8 on the season, while the Vikings stay afloat in a very competitive NFC with a 34-28 victory over the Denver Broncos. The Vikings are likely looking at needing a wild card berth to make the playoffs this season, so they might actually be rooting for the Lions in this scenario. As Detroit is out to an early lead here, but just 7 points separate these 2 teams. The early numbers say Detroit has the advantage, but you can't count out the New Orleans Saints. They have one of the most explosive offenses in the league, and they haven't really used Alvin Kamara much in the run game, so if they start focusing the rushing attack a little bit more, our defense could be in some serious trouble here in the second half. But it is the Lions who start the second half with the football, and we love our ground game. There's DeAndre Swift with a gain of 9 to the 34-yard line, 2nd and 1. Box is stacked, expecting another run. Blitz is brought, but the Lions will counter. There's a slant route to Christian Kirk, and he's across midfield to the 41-yard line. 13 yards after catch for our number 1 wideout. It's 2nd and 4 from the 35. There's another pass to Keegan Darby and some more yards after the catch for the speedy second-year wide receiver. 1st and 10 Detroit at the 21-yard line. And we will once again head to the ground game. There's a nice tackle made by David Onyemata. 2nd and 3. And this close to the end zone, the Saints are going to start stacking the box against their ground game. But there's a nice power run by DeAndre Swift. Goal to go Detroit at the 9. Still 7 in the box despite 3 wide receivers. Hairston against the blitz will find Kyrie Hughes short. It's a gain of 4. As Hairston goes over 200 yards on the day. Now 3rd and goal. Hairston against a 3-man rush. Rolls to his right. He is chased. Fires to the end zone. And that is out of reach of Christian Kirk. And now Taylor Decker is shaken up again. He was cleared to re-enter the game. But now he's nursing another injury. And it looks unrelated to the first. He's bruised his shoulder. And the doctors are split as to whether or not he should re-enter the game. We're going to put Jerron Christian in at left tackle for the foreseeable future here, as Nathan Davis will head right back to the air. There's another catch for Alvin Kamara, and it sets up 3rd and inches. And now the Lions will stack the box. Kamara right up the middle. And that was maybe a step or 2 away from being a much longer carry, but it will pick up the 1st down for the Saints. They will head right back to Kamara, trying the left side on the draw. He picks up 8 yards to set up 3rd and 2. What's the call here on 3rd and 2? Davis to the air, and there's a quick slant route to John Ross to pick up the 1st. Just a step ahead of Sean Francois. Watch those 2 speedsters duke it out here as Davis heads back to the air on 1st and 10, and he has a man open. It's Troutman over the middle to the 33-yard line. Another 1st down for the Saints. Not a lot of pressure for the Lions here, as there's a pass complete to the left side for Kamara, 1st and 10. And give credit to the Saints. Even when they're throwing the ball, they're putting it in the hands of their superstar halfback. As the catch is made by Kamara at the 6, it's goal to go New Orleans. Now 2nd and goal from the 4, Tim Woodward, the 2nd-year running back in the game. He'll try the right side, and he's tackled at the 5 by D'Angelo Carmichael. 3rd and goal as the Detroit defense will try and hold. Woodward in the game, Davis under center. Motioning in John Ross, he'll head to the air. Blitz is picked up, and Davis fires to the end zone. Callaway with his 2nd. What a catch by Callaway. One-handed, he gets both feet in bounds. Even a review can't overturn that touchdown pass, as Davis's 2nd touchdown of the day will put the Saints just 3 points behind, and now the Lions offense is struggling to get the ground game moving. 3rd and 4. Hairston to throw for it, and that is well covered by Pete Werner, as Hairston may have had some options on the outside. But the Lions go 3 and out, and here goes Woodward right up the middle. He's got 15 yards and the 1st down. Really more of a power back. But we've seen backup running backs have a lot of success against our defense, as George Towns on the blitz drops Davis for a loss of 10. Now 3rd and 15. Davis definitely throwing for this one. Another blitz is picked up, and Davis counters. Callaway with another big catch. It's a first down conversion to the 49-yard line as we head to quarter number 4 with just 3 points separating these teams. Momentum favors the Saints here as Davis heads to the air once again. There's Troutman stretching ahead for the first down. Already 34 passing attempts for Davis as he's shaken off his early interception to get into quite the rhythm against this Detroit defense. There's another completion, this time to Michael Thomas, as the Saints are inside field goal range here. 2nd and 10 in the split shotgun. Davis back to pass. He has time, and he's intercepted! D'Angelo Carmichael in a foot race! No one's gonna catch him! 2010 touchdown! D'Angelo Carmichael with a pick six, 76 yards. Woodward had no chance at this throw. It was way off target. As now instead of a 3-point game, it's a 10-point game. And the Saints have to try again on offense. They will head right back to the air, and it's a conservative look from Nathan Davis. He's not a quarterback who turns the ball over very often. He had just 7 picks as a rookie and 7 interceptions thus far this season. But now he's got 2 on the day, and he's resorted to taking some very conservative shots against this defense. As pass attempt number 42 never gets off. It's Philip Harden winning with power around the edge to make it 2nd and 21. Now 3rd and 14, and Davis will probably have to challenge this Detroit defense down the field. No, it's a screen for Booker, who has some yardage, but he's tackled down at the 50. And the Saints offense will stay on the field. 4 down territory, they need 6. Davis against a 4-man rush is nearly intercepted again, as Carmichael can't come down with his 2nd of the day, but it will give the Lions the ball back on downs. And they will get to turn to their rushing game here. 2nd and 6, delayed give will go nowhere. The counter not working that time. Picks up 2, and it's 3rd and 4. Clock continuing to run, 4.5 minutes to go. Swift redirects, and he will have the first down and a little bit more. Ball down to the 35-yard line here as the Lions face a 3rd and 7. They want to try and keep the clock running, but they need some more yards as Deshaun Stevenson will pick up the first down with a great second effort there after absorbing the hit. 1st and 10, we're inside 3 minutes as Stevenson loses the football, and it's recovered by the Saints. So the Saints aren't done quite yet. They're still down 2 scores, but they're going to need Nathan Davis to make some big-time throws if they want to get back in this one. 2 minutes and 56 seconds to go. They've got all 3 timeouts, but they need 2 possessions to get back into this game as Davis, under pressure, held on to that far too long and checked it down to Booker, who is stopped behind the line of scrimmage by Carmichael. And 1 play later, we're at the 2-minute warning. So time is not on the Saints' side. They need a conversion here on 3rd and 9. And then some quick yards as Davis is picked again. Carmichael inside the 10, and Davis doesn't have the angle. D'Angelo Carmichael's 2nd pick 6 of the day effectively seals this one, as Davis tried putting it in the hands of his number 1 wide receiver, but Michael Thomas was blanketed by Carmichael and Tracy Walker there. There was no room for him to make that throw, and it's a 34-17 Detroit lead here. Davis back to pass. He will cross 300 yards with that throw to Dylan Soner. And the Saints will hurry up to the line, but this game is basically over. Under pressure, down goes Davis. Lucas Parra with the sack. Saints continuing to hurry back to the line here. 4-man rush. Davis holds on to the ball. He's sacked again. And after that, Sean Payton stops putting his quarterback in harm's way here. This final score is 34-17 as the Lions win the highly anticipated bout between Bob Hairston and Nathan Davis. I wouldn't say this was a statement game for either quarterback, as Hairston got a lot of help from the team in this one. Nathan Davis was asked to do a little too much by the Saints, and he responds with some big numbers but also 3 interceptions. And those 2 pick sixes by D'Angelo Carmichael pretty much killed any hopes of a Saints comeback. Neither were good decisions or good throws by Davis. But you have to question the wisdom of only giving Alvin Kamara 12 carries against the league's bottom-ranked rushing defense. This was actually one of our better performances against the run, as we held the Saints to just 72 yards on the ground. But it felt more like a lack of opportunities rather than a lack of execution. For our part, though, we didn't exactly light up the scoreboard against the league's bottom-ranked passing defense either. Hairston threw for just 210 yards on a day that also saw him not find the end zone. But he also didn't throw any interceptions and didn't have any near interceptions either, as it was a very clean game for him. If you are like me and were hoping for a quarterback duel, you might also be a little bit disappointed with the statistical outcome. But there's certainly plenty of positives to take away if you are a Detroit Lions fan. And one of those is D'Angelo Carmichael. Even when he wasn't picking off Nathan Davis and taking it to the house for 6, he had a monster game. 2 tackles for a loss, 2 pick sixes, and 3 passes defensed. As one has to wonder how this game might have been different if he wasn't playing. He nearly outscored the offense all by himself. He missed out on X-Factor development earlier in this season, but I'll be curious to see if he gets another opportunity based off of this game. He's always been really good against the run. I feel like he's consistently making plays on the ball carrier there. But what he's kind of struggled in at points in his career is his pass defense. He's been very inconsistent in that area, and it feels like he's very close to putting it all together, and if anything, today's game is evidence that he's taken the next step in terms of being a shutdown middle linebacker. His first interception was mostly luck. It was a bad throw by Davis, and one I honestly didn't think the computer was capable of doing. Usually that's from a user side where they just miss badly in the direction of a linebacker. But his second interception, as well as one of his passes defensed on a 4th and 6 partway through the 4th quarter, were a result of good play recognition instincts as well as good positioning. It was a great day for D'Angelo Carmichael, but that shouldn't overshadow the contributions of the rest of the defense. We pressured Davis quite often. We had several players come through with sacks, and we held them to just 256 yards passing after all those yards lost were included. And with a defensive effort like that, it's not surprising that we didn't need heroics from our offense in order to come away with the victory. We're now won 3 games in a row. We're 8-4, just 1 game out of first place in the NFC. The Packers are also on a 3-game win streak. They're right behind us in the standings, as there's an outside chance that we can make a play for the number 1 seed in a first round bye. And we have what might be an easier matchup next week, but still one I've been looking forward to. It's the 3-9 Atlanta Falcons we're taking on, and they're without top offensive playmaker Gregory Hayward. Hayward was the best running back in the draft. He is about as complete as a prospect as you might hope. But the other fun part about this game is that Jared Goff is the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. It's been a tough season for Goff. He's thrown for just over 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. As his comeback bid after a year riding the bench in Baltimore has not been going the way I think anyone had hoped. He was out as the quarterback of the Lions after an awful 2021 campaign saw him throw 28 interceptions. So I was happy to see him land with a team that was going to give him a starting opportunity. And even better, we're going to get to see him in action in a new uniform. So one more thing before this episode wraps up. It's been a while since I've shown these season-long statistics, so here's a check-in with how the team is doing right now. DeAndre Swift is approaching 1,000 yards on the ground as he's received the bulk of the carries for the Lions this season, while Keegan Darby is actually our leading wide receiver in terms of both catches and yards. Both he and Hawkinson have an outside chance at the 1,000 yard club. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Our offensive line play has been exceptional again this season. We've been keeping Bob Hairston upright for the most part. George Towns is having an incredible rookie season. He leads the team in tackles and tackles for loss, and he also has 5.5 sacks on the season. Also, Dalton Logan has been really good in situational play at right outside linebacker. He's only seeing the field in our base 3-4 scheme, but he's still tied for third on the team in tackles for loss. We're getting a variety of players involved in rushing the passer, as Devin Woodson and Romeo Okwara lead the team in that category, while Tracy Walker is the only defensive back on the team to have more than one interception. That being said, our defensive backs are still getting their hands on the football, as Bradbury and Okuda both lead the way with 9 passes defense. Melifanu is third with 7 passes defensed on the year. Barring a resurgence by another player or a severe injury, I anticipate that George Towns is going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year for us this season. He's got more fumbles forced than any other player on the team with 5. He's got 5.5 sacks, and he leads the team in tackles. We could have the best linebacker duo in the league here in a year or two. I'd love to see George Towns take steps as a pass defender as well. Our special teams have been steady if unspectacular. No return touchdowns on the season, but some good work being put in by Jack Fox and Austin Seibert. And that's all for today's episode. Next episode will be Jared Goff's homecoming against the Lions. Thank you all for watching, have a good one, and like always, I will catch you next time.